worked in school for over 40 years.
Wow.
And I would see some kids totally just disrespect teachers.
Yeah.
A lot of kids don't know how to respect. It wasn't taught how to respect. If you want the young people to listen to you, you gotta act like an adult.
Yeah.
My goal isn't to be the authority and beat you into submission. My goal is to have really good relationship. And that cannot come from you have no voice, you have to listen to everything I say. I am never wrong.
That I couldn't get down with from any adult.
I think in general we live much more dynamic lives than our previous generations
100%.
did. So purposely, for us to show up properly in our lives and not be bugging out or end up in jail and stuff, we have to learn how to talk properly.
I've even had teachers apologize for certain moments where they called an authority on me and just made it more difficult for me.
Than it was.
You're the teacher.
Right.
You're the adult. We're not boys.
My first instinct is to understand what's really happening here. I know that they don't want to disrespect me. So I'm like, let me figure out what's happening here before I try to go crazy on them, because then if I do that and I get the reaction I get, I can't be mad. Teachers now don't understand this isn't back in the day. You have to really be a real person. I always knew no matter what, I was always gonna get two things from it. I was always gonna get consistency, I was gonna get love.
You and I are kind of similar. You may even be more good-hearted than me. I feel like you. Well,
but in our longing hearts, we're all the same.
Mutual respect and
Yes.
a boundary might have been crossed that you, right?
That's
So
correct.
just an example
That's a
of,
good example.
it is a great example. I appreciate that for
Yes.
giving me the example to even work with.
Let's be the change we want to see.
I've never seen differences negative. I've always been attracted to and intrigued by it. But we're looking for how are we similar? How are we the same? How can we all just get along?
We are links in a chain. Unimportant.
Yeah, that definitely was me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Working It Out Across Generations, the show where we talk all things conflict, big and small. And due to our professional background in conflict resolution, we try to give some tips for reconciliation. I'm one of your hosts, Justin.
And I am your other host, Dr. Lynn.
And we have a really, really cool episode today with two very, very special people in our lives. And I think we have a very cool topic for today, and I'm excited to talk about it. Very timely as well. So, Dr. Lynn.
Yes, is generational or elder wisdom really still valued, right? It's such an important topic to me, especially, but I think both of us, really,
for
right?
sure.
We really value each other's opinions, but also I know at the same time you respect that I am an elder.
100%.
And that there is wisdom that I have because of the years and the experience that I have gained. And it's interesting because I know, not just from our relationship, but from the kinds of comments that we get from our episodes, that what we have, everybody doesn't have. It's really special. And so for us to have guests who I think have that. This is
really, really cool. This is really, really cool. A lot more kids that hate their parents.
Big facts. Big facts.
This is refreshing, fellas.
You be like, shit. That's how y'all talk to each other? Oh my God.
We already talking about I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Elder first.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Richard Green. This is my grandson here, wow. He is just, wow. You know, I can't even say no more. But I'm glad to be here, and I thank y'all for having us.
Glad to have you here.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm super happy to be here with my grandpa and with the wonderful Dr. Lynn and Justin. So my name is Tajiri. I'm here to talk about this topic, intergenerational wisdom. because when Dr. Lynn told me about it, it just like hit me. I'm like, yeah, these are moments we need to have. We have to put this stuff on camera so people see like family is real. It's not like we go out in the world and we just get these friends. If we get our family, we got to stay connected forever.
Yes,
Forever,
absolutely.
yeah,
So I'm excited.
Oh, we are.
Yes.
Let's do this, y'all. Yes, it is. You know, there have been, I know Oprah has been doing some shows on the disconnection, and we did this too, of people who are estranged, family members who are estranged.
The no contact.
Yes, they don't want to have anything to do with each other. And part of what has been so fascinating and heartbreaking for me is that sometimes it has come on without any warning that people all had a good relationship with their kids, right? Their grandkids, and then suddenly there's we disconnecting you, we are cutting you out, and that is for me, that's the last thing we need as we grow more and more tech ways to disconnect from each other, right?
Yeah.
We definitely don't need family to be disconnected. We definitely don't need elders to not be valued. And I am finding that more and more people, I feel, disrespect elders or don't really want to hear from them, which too is disrespectful.
Exactly.
So I really wanted to talk to you all because, first of all, Richard and I call him Pops because we go to the same gym, right? And in the gym, he's Pops and I'm Mama Lynn. So,
That's right.
and we have a great relationship, and we talk about the young people in our lives, right? And then Ty, can I call you Ty? Yeah, all right. So Ty came a few times. He's an amazing young man, right?
Sure.
Came a few times, and then he started coming a little more regularly in this last sessions. And the relationship between them, it just really got to me. And I thought, we need to get this on camera. We need folks to see, hear, and understand why this is so important. So I want to really start out with, first of all, what is the relationship that you have with one another?
Well, Ty, my relationship with Ty, he's just so awesome. I mean, we get along like brothers. We get along like father and son, and of course, grandfather and grandson. He's very respectful. I have nothing bad to say about him, not because he's my grandson.
For sure.
He listens to me. He respects me. And he makes sure everybody else respects me. And it's just an honor and a privilege to have a grandson like him. It's just an honor and a privilege. I couldn't have asked for a greater grandson than what I have sitting right here with me.
Wow.
And he pushed me to be here today. He says, come on, Pop, we're going to do this. Just relax. We got this. So he has my back and I have his back, and he's just an awesome young man.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
My grandpa, I mean, he just said it. My grandpa's been like my dad my whole entire life. So it's just natural. Like, I never imagined, there's not a day in my life where we don't talk, where I don't see him somehow, or we're not, if I don't talk to him directly, then we're not in a family group chat, or I talk to my aunt, she just got off the phone with him, and he told her to tell me something. He's just been an integral part of my life from the beginning. And there's like, when I think of life, when you think of the core pillars, and everybody has those moments when they wake up at 4 a.m., they have their existential thoughts, whatever the case is. My grandpa's always been a core pillar in my life. Like, we're here. My best friend, like my dad I never had. And like you said, like my brother at the same time. I wear all his stuff. I've been stealing his clothes and stuff.
Pops, you got that shit on. I ain't gonna lie. Pops got that shit on. I got hope with the Bob, but
man, bro.
I see it. We can't do that.
We're not going to, but we want you, so.
That's not as far as we can go.
Yes,
But that's so dope, man. I think that's ultimately what it's about, and I feel as though take social media out of it, right? I think we've just shifted away from this. You know what I mean? Like, and so I guess for me, my question that I want to start exploring for everyone is, what were you taught, both of you, all of us, but both of you to start, about respecting your elders growing up? Like, what messages were relayed to you? What are you noticing today as far as gaps in maybe how things were done and how they're done now? Just if we could start speaking on that a little bit, I'd love to just pick your brains a little bit about that. So either of you, please.
Well, I was taught you had to respect your elders, which you should.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to know how to talk to the youngsters. It's a different time now.
Yeah.
So when I was small, my grandmother told me, grown folks are always right.
Yeah, we had the same grandma.
If they said
like,
you did it, you did it.
yeah.
You had no voice.
That's right. Yep.
And I think that's what messes up a lot of young ones today, because young kids now have that freedom to speak out.
Yes.
Sure.
And they will speak out. But at the same time, they don't know how to speak.
Yeah.
And it comes from really not being taught how to speak.
I agree.
And they only act the way they were taught.
Yeah.
So what they hear and they see, that's how they act. We knew what to do and what not to do. My grandmother could just look at me and I'd straighten up. She didn't have to say a word. So I think what it is that we have to listen to the young people a little more.
Yeah.
We have to let them express their self. But like I said, we couldn't.
Nope.
My grandmother said, shut up. But Nana, no, shut up. So I think in life we have to listen to the young kids more. That's me.
Yeah.
What were you taught, sir?
I mean the same. Definitely not as strict as what his experience was, but I mean the same thing. You got to respect the elders. You don't really have a voice. You a child, stay in the kid's place, that sort of thing. I decided to break that rule as I got older, but a lot of factors went into that. But actually, a big part of that was having a grandfather that's always been so close in my life. Like, we always talk about this, because I always knew no matter what, I was always going to get two things from him. I was always going to get consistency, whether that was good or bad, and I was going to get love. So he never called me out my name or, really disrespected me and really tried to hurt my feelings. If I did something stupid, it'd be like, man, Ty, that was stupid what you did. But he would never be like, you stupid, whatever the case is.
Right.
So that kind of set a tone with me for how I should be treated. And then he always loved me. So even if I just did the craziest thing ever, he'd get on me and then he'd be like, all right, come on, you still want punishment, but give me a hug. I love you. You my grandson. So that kind of set the tone. So even though I heard that, when I would go out into the world, I'm just like, you don't really care about me. You just want to tell me what to do. You just want to order me around because you feel like I'm young, so you should tell me what to do. So I'm like, nah, we're not going to do that. But I was taught the same thing he was taught. I decided to break the rules.
Yeah. I couldn't break the rules, but I sure was taught that every adult had something to say to me. I mean, I just felt like everything was wrong with me. Because it was like going down the chain of, oh, I heard you did so and so. How could you do that? That was terrible. And I feel like there were a lot of adults that took license with that to be mean.
Yes.
It wasn't that elder wisdom. I didn't get a lot of that. I got a lot of criticism.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, that's not what this is about. We need to be spreading wisdom and listening, and I also, listen, there's adults in both of my sons' lives who they know to respect, but you ain't just gonna be on off the street and tell them something and expect that they have to listen to you because you're an adult. No, I'm not with that, because that did too much damage to me. They're not gonna disrespect you right off the bat, right? And they may not even disrespect you if you disrespect them. But you don't have that license with mine. I'm just not. I think that leaves too much room for damage to be done.
Yeah, I definitely, Ty, I relate a lot. I definitely broke the rules sometimes on this particular thing.
Sorry, y'all. We love y'all.
I mean, you know, that's between me and God, Dennis. So we gotta own that. You know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day, though, I so appreciate you saying, you know, like, that's just not gonna fly with my boys. Like, that was a message that I was always given, right? It's like, they really pointed out to me, like, these are the adults that you respect, and it's like undying. Like, just always give them that respect, and then here's why, right? And so I feel as though I had great models in my home, but as you said, we get out in the real world, we go to school, right? And I was going to, you know, private white schools, right? Like, where the wealth is like, you know, the donors are the ones that really make the school, not the principal, right? And so, I mean, who the hell cares about the goddamn principal? They're getting money for a new athletic center, right? So it's things like that where you're absolutely right. You don't give a damn about me. You could care less about what I'm dealing with at home. You could care less about even me making it to the next grade.
Exactly.
And yet you have all of this responsibility over me. Right.
Exactly.
And so it was one of those things where, I mean, if in school I was fun, but also a problem for some teachers, a lot of teachers, because it's like,
He can relate.
because, you know what I mean? Because it also comes down to like, we were raised different. You know what I'm saying? Like, we come through different struggles. We have different goggles when we're literally maneuvering the world.
Right.
And so your advice is not really like warranted. It's not really, you know what I mean? And so I got in trouble, I can't even tell you how many times, for simply, you know, just challenging the model that was in front of me.
Exactly.
And so I feel as though, you know, one of the gaps that we can close is thinking that, you know, all young people who question things are defiant, right? It's like, dude, no, this world is too complex for me to not have questions.
Exactly.
These people that I'm in the same waters with, infested waters, by the way, right, are you know, just, we're in this together, and I'm allowed to ask who's who.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And why are you this to me? I came out the womb that way, naturally, when it came to authority, but it was never out of defiance. It was strictly out of, well, why should I listen to you? What are you doing to, you know what I mean? I can't tell you how many gym coaches that didn't necessarily have the body you wanted, making you run the amount of laps that you had to run, right? Or like, you know, have you doing all this conditioning because they know the benefits that's going to do for you.
But you didn't do it.
Clearly you didn't know the benefits it was going to do. Don't ask me to get in this drill with us, actually.
Right.
But that's a conversation for another time and more of a private setting. So I think, you know, I wasn't this defiant little shit. It was just like, who are you? And earn that right for me to give you this undying loyalty that I know I can give you.
Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
Ty,
word.
you can relate?
Especially with that, this undying loyalty. Like, so for me, it was a little bit different because I grew up in the black community. I grew up going to black schools for the most part for my formative years. So that was an added layer on top, especially in the community I grew up in. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody's uncle, everybody's family. So I can understand your point of people coming to you, oh, my bad. I heard you did this. You shouldn't have did this. I feel like this. And I'm like, okay, first of all, we're not peers. Like, so, all right, I'll give an anecdote on this. So when I was younger, there was a picture that went around the school of me and this girl laying down in a bed together. We literally fully clothed. We were just laying down in the bed like our friends took the picture. We was chilling. So she had a specific reputation at the school amongst the kids and the adults, which it shouldn't have been amongst the adults. So the next day I come into school, my history teacher, she comes to me, she goes, everybody's talking about this picture, but I'm like, whatever. So she comes to me, she's like, so I saw what you did yesterday. And I'm like, okay. And she was annoyed with my response because I didn't really care. And she was like, I'm disgusted with you did. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be a teacher? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
I'm like, if you had something you wanted to share with me, you would have been like, hey, young man,
Yes.
you know, this picture,
Right.
this isn't the best
This isn't
image.
the best image.
You know what I mean? Because it can give a certain thing. But she didn't do that. She came to me like a girl my age would, trying to check me with this disgust. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then she made it this whole thing that I disrespected her. And that was a common thing amongst the adults that I was around. They wanted to talk to me how they wanted to talk, tell me what my narrative was and what they felt, and what they felt was true. And I'm like, nah, it's not true. You better not say anything back. I'm like, nah, you're not going to tell me what my story is.
Right.
Then they'd always call him. He's acting a fool. He's disrespectful. And I would sit. And then that's how we got so close, because like he told me.
Sounds familiar.
A lot of times in that principle, you'll start revealing some shit, on both sides.
I know that's right.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, because he would be like, because at first he's like, old school thinking, Tajiri, you disrespected teacher. I'm like, Pop, I did not. This is exactly what I said to him. And I've always had a gift I've always been good at communication, so I can always say back exactly what I said or did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I would say exactly what I said to him that I said to them. And I'm like, do you think this is disrespectful? He'd be like, no. Then the teacher would be like, oh, man, like, I don't know what to do now. But that really shaped our relationship.
Yeah.
But felt that.
Yeah, I can so relate to that, like so many times. First of all, I was blessed that I had a real foundation working in education. So I worked as a teacher and I worked as a teacher coach in teaching communication and conflict resolution.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
No wonder why we listen to you so much in the gym.
I do that.
I know that's right.
She be walking.
What did you say, Pop?
I walked into the situation listening and knowing my son, right? And just going, okay, this really got miscommunicated. But in my head, I'm thinking, but you're the adult.
Exactly.
That's what you're trying to communicate to him, that you're the adult, but you're the adult, so you should have better skills than this. You can listen through this and really understand why he's reacting the way that he's reacting. Yeah. And by the way, he has a point. I never was able to say it this way or look at it this way, but what makes you qualified to stand up in front of him as a teacher?
Exactly.
I think it's a fair question. And I think the craziest part was that in, proximity with other people, it was like, get him out,
Yes.
he's terrible, like, I'm done with this, If I got them one-on-one, though, and they kept me for after, and I would say the same damn thing, if anything, just more professional, so instead of, eat a Frank, it's like, it's kind of like, this is what would make people say these words to you, right? Like, once I got them one-on-one, or I wasn't in their class anymore, it was like, oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's a really, really good point, and you know what, you're right. And I've even had teachers apologize for certain moments where they called an authority on me and just made it more difficult for me
than it was.
Than it really was. And I'm like, dude, and I love you. You're the teacher.
Right.
You're the adult. We're not boys.
We're not here.
I'm not trying to be boys with you. So stop with this whole like you don't even know the damn joke. Why are you laughing at you? And you kind of like, let's get no, bro. Be what you are at that stage of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that, I have so much respect for the teachers who, like you said, and like you beautifully just described and showed us, which is so much easier than I think people really give credit for. It's just like, hey, bro, I think this is the way we need to think about this. I think this is the way that, you know what I'm saying? This is how people are perceiving it. And if you're okay with that, cool. But if not, let's talk about how to rewrite the narrative.
Exactly.
Those adults, and you know who you are, especially in my experience, you know who you are. I have the utmost respect for you. Anyone else, to hell with you, to be quite frank. You should not be working with kids.
No, really. And can I add something?
Sure.
Because he just said something that made me think. So, everybody's talking about now how difficult it is to work in schools and about how radical the kids are now. But from what I see, I think it's that back in the day before you had the internet and before you had social media, there was a veil between you and your teacher, meaning you didn't really know what they did at home. You didn't know what their lifestyle was like. Yeah. But now that we have social media, we can see the lifestyles of people across the world. So that veil is gone. So now you don't get just to get the hide behind age. You actually have to have the emotional intelligence that comes with getting older, the communication skills. And I remember distinctly to what you're talking about, like, and I know we can vouch for this. A lot of adults, elders are very emotional. Their behavior is very like something happens that they don't like, and they get on the same level with you, like they the same age.
That wasn't me looking at you. That was not that. I'm talking about everyone in my life that acts like that. You know, so that's what that was. I apologize, that wasn't clear.
Yeah,
But then that's real.
And then when you give them back what they're looking for, then you're so disrespectful.
Right.
But as a person, because I'm the oldest. I'm a leader. I'm the oldest of all my cousins, of all my generation. So whether I wanted to or not, thanks to him, I've always had to be a leader. So I always, even if like I'm having a conversation with my sister, one of my cousins, and they're getting ridiculous, I feel like they're getting an attitude with me. My first instinct is to understand what's really happening here. I know that they don't want to disrespect me. So I'm like, let me figure out what's happening here before I try to go crazy on them, because then if I do that and I get the reaction I get, I can't be mad.
Right.
But they're not thinking that, and teachers now don't understand this isn't back in the day. You have to really be a real person, and I'm sorry that may be unfortunate to some people that you actually. It has to be more than just a subject. You have to be a leader figure.
Yeah.
Because if you behave catty just like the kids, you go on your lunch break, and I know you seen it. They get in the room with the teachers thinking the kids not listening, and they gossiping about the kids and stuff like that.
Let me tell you something. You're when I was teaching, I went in the teacher's cafeteria once.
I know.
Right? Actually, I went twice. Once they were talking about everybody else. The second time they were talking about me, and I never went back. That's the kind of behavior that kids observe.
Yeah.
And then they don't understand why they have to respect you.
Exactly.
And I don't think that, I understand, I get it. I think that elders definitely need to be respected, but I think that we also have to be working on ourselves so that constantly, so that we can get your respect. Honestly, earn it. And because what I want it for is so that you'll come talk to me.
That's the point.
Exactly.
That's really what I want it for,
point.
because there's so many ways to screw up in this world. Oh my gosh.
And talking to the wrong person is probably one of the easiest.
Oh
The
my
easiest.
gosh.
You know,
And you all, especially at a certain age, are very much more inclined to listen to your peers. So before that happens, I want you to be able to talk. And you know, Pop, I'm sorry. It's all right if I call you Pop.
It's okay. It's okay.
But it's
No.
okay.
Let it go. Let it go.
But I'm just wondering, if you grew up the way you grew up, how did it change? Like, how did you change, or when did you decide? Did you make it like a decision that, no, I don't know if you were this way with your kids, but with my grands, I'm gonna be this way.
Well, I learned from my kids
Okay.
because I was more or less treating my kids like I was being treated.
Okay.
So then I noticed that it wasn't working. So I was why is this not working? It worked when Nana gave it to me.
You're right, it worked on you.
So I says, okay, I gotta find another approach.
Yeah.
I says, maybe I need to sit down and talk a little more instead of jumping the gun.
Wow.
I said, maybe I need to listen some more. So then I got better at that. So then I said, if I ever have a grandkid, I'm gonna know what to do.
Yeah.
So my kids taught me because I couldn't get them to get it. No,
And you got daughters. So.
yes, 3. I mean, and Nana would say, be back in the house by 10, and I was back. I got 3 daughters. It's 12 o'clock, 1:15. I'm doing like this. My wife's in the bed asleep. I done put on my shoes about 5 times walking outside. You know, and I'm like, didn't I tell you to? Yeah, Daddy. This is okay. This ain't working. I can make this work. Maybe I have to let them know. So I sit down and I told them, listen, this is what's out there.
Yeah.
There's nothing open a certain time of night.
No, you gotta say your phrase. You have to say it. You have to say
Okay,
it.
I used to tell my daughters there's nothing open at night but legs and White Castles.
That's a bar.
You know, I said,
That's a bar.
you know, I said that's all that's open
Yeah.
after 12 o'clock.
For real. Get your ass off.
He was dead ass.
Get your ass off.
You know, yes.
Neither one of them is good for you.
Yeah. And
To be quite frank.
White Castles is too far for you to get to.
So it only leaves one option.
Exactly. You know?
Yeah, for real,
Oh
man.
my gosh.
And so then, you know, they started getting it. But the good thing about it, they kept good grades. And they wasn't disrespectful.
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
That is
So
good.
that played a good part.
Yeah.
That is good.
But
And-
I love that you were able to say, you know, this isn't working.
Yeah, like,
some
I
of
was
y'all
gonna
just
say that.
don't care.
Right,
It's
it's
not
like,
working,
right.
And you blame the
The
young
kids.
person.
Exactly.
These kids are just horrible.
Right, these kids,
They're only
that's
what you
right.
made them.
That's
Exactly.
right. But we really do have to evaluate.
We have
And
to.
what's your goal? Like I said, my goal isn't to be the authority and beat you into submission. My goal really is to have what we have, this really good relationship.
Exactly.
And that cannot come from you have no voice, you have to listen to everything I say.
Exactly.
I am never wrong. Like all
Yeah.
of, oh my God, I am never wrong.
Oh my god.
Yes.
That I couldn't get down with from any adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I just couldn't
Yes.
get with. I could get with, you know, all right, that tone getting a little, you know what I mean, or you know, I don't like this word being used in your argument. That, you know, stuff like that. But you're not gonna tell me you're never wrong and
Right.
things like that. You're
Exactly.
you're a person just like me.
Right.
So you've made mistakes. You've
Yes.
gotten it wrong. And if anything, I feel like from, you know, the teachers and things like of the, you know, care that I was under, I wish they just brought a little bit more of themselves
Yes.
to the
Exactly.
conversation.
Yeah.
I'm literally here telling you, like, this doesn't make me feel good either. Like, I'm like, you think I want to be like this isn't like I'm already funny. I don't need to be funnier
Exactly.
to my class. Like, I'm already good here. I'm on this sports team. I'm doing this. I got this outside of life. Like, I'm straight, but I'm coming to you, you know, looking for guidance, and you're not using this opportunity to do what you just did and what you said,
Exactly.
and just say, let me look inward for a second.
Right.
What's not
Boom.
working on my end?
Exactly.
It's like those are people that are principals. Those are people
Yes.
that are presidents of the PTA.
Yup.
You know what I mean? And y'all parent, oh my God,
Man.
y'all shouldn't even have kids.
The
That's
worst.
another conversation.
Definition of nice
You know what I'm
man.
saying? Right.
All the smiles.
And that's
Get
a
behind
load
that
of crap.
smile.
And
That's
I
a load of
worked.
crap.
I worked in school. I worked in school for over 40 years.
Wow.
And I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot. And I would see some kids. I would hear some kids just totally just disrespect
for sure.
teachers.
Yeah.
For sure.
But then I would hear some teachers just disrespect kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I would see it, I would pull a kid to because I had a good relationship. My whole 47
Oh, I
years,
see it.
I had
I
a
see
good
it.
relationship
Yeah.
with the kids in the school. I stopped a lot of things that could have happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, I stopped a lot of things that could have happened. And I was able to pull kids to the side and I would say, listen, man, she was wrong. She was dead wrong what she said to you. But you made it worse when you shot back at her.
Yes. Yeah.
I said, you should have took that home to your parents or took it to the principal. I said, that's what made you
That's
wrong.
what made it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I said, but she
love
was
that.
dead wrong.
Right. And
You
they
know.
need that validation.
Exactly.
They also need that correction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important thing. And I really want you two to think about what is it that you feel like the elders can get from your generation, right? And I want us to think about what is it that we feel like we can get
Okay.
from them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ty, start off. What do you think? What do you think we can teach to elders?
I think, like, if we just take it across averages, the biggest thing is communication and emotional intelligence. And I don't know if it's because of the internet and all of the things, but I think in general we live much more dynamic lives than our previous generations did.
100%.
So purposely, for us to show up properly in our lives and not be bugging out or end up in jail and stuff, we have to learn how to talk properly.
100%.
So I noticed that, especially when I look at older people, you can have people that were best friends for years, but they'll have an argument and they'll just stop speaking. And I ain't speaking to so-and-so. You'd be like, why you not talking to them? Because they know what they did. I'm like, but mate, you know, people go through things, but I noticed there was a lack of just educational communication, how to talk to someone, how to have a conversation like, okay, Just the same way you're emotional, you feel like you were done wrong, you could have did something to somebody and made them feel like you did them wrong. So being able to approach a conversation like, hey, we're not enemies, let's talk. And even if we agree to disagree, let's be able to just clarify we're not enemies and we didn't mean to hurt each other. We can be able to move forward. And that and emotional intelligence, understanding like people, we're flawed. We're like conduits of energy. Things happen. All kind of things. Sometimes we slip up.
For sure.
Sometimes somebody goes off on you and they went a little harder than they should have, but it wasn't really you. Maybe they're just trying to figure out like, dang, I'm about to get it. I gotta figure out I'm gonna pay my car note. I gotta figure out how to pay this bill. I have these things going on. Maybe my family member is sick. And just understanding like we're human.
Yes.
And there wasn't a whole bunch of that. It's like it's very, and I think religion plays a part. It's very authoritative. Everything better be my way or no way. And then if somebody doesn't want to bend to my will, I'll just stop speaking to them. And I noticed that all across the board, and it's not pretty.
Yeah.
It's not conducive either.
Yeah.
You?
I love that. And I would take it a step further on the emotional intelligence, and I would say also through that, just self-love.
Exactly.
To be quite frank, I feel as though, just from stories I'm hearing, y'all weren't getting enough life spoken into you. You weren't getting enough of like grace, right? For making mistakes, for stepping out on the family like ways that we conduct ourselves, right? Whatever it is. And I think that, you know, you've heard me say this before, but that made it harder for y'all to approach the mirror and look at yourself. Because someone, especially someone with an unwarranted opinion, someone who you're not even close to, even a warranted, but even the adults that you ain't even cool with like that, right? Giving you this advice and holding up the mirror for you and telling you who you are, right? And so I think that for me, you know, I'm not in y'all's stage of life yet, right? But I see a coolness to the vantage point that elders have over us because of your experiences, because of all of what you've had and what you've seen. Like, to me, y'all are the real time machines. It's not history books. It's actually the people who were living there and who were in those times, right? So I think it's just, you know, and I think we model it through giving that grace for when they're wrong. I think we model it through, you know, just always letting our parents know, our elders know, like, you know, I love you, I'm proud of you. You know, look at the life you've built for yourself, all these things, right? And just speaking that life back into you, right? I know, you know, not to get too personal, but like when you got your doctorate, right? You were just like, you know, all right, like it's just 2 letters or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, that is a doctor in front of your name. Like, if you're not gonna start moving like, you know what I'm saying? Like, move like you got that. Like, that's you. And so, you know, I just think we gotta just put more of that healthy relationship that you can have with yourself in the mirror out on the table for y'all, just to, you know, hopefully inspire the next generation of, you know, leaders, right? You know, so there's too many leaders that don't look at themselves.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was saying. Come on, now.
So I think that first we have to. A lot of us act like our parents.
Yeah.
So we got to kind of blank that out.
Yeah.
This is a new generation. This is a new world. What worked for them, it's not going to work for us.
Yeah, for real.
And we have to give a kid a chance to voice their opinion.
Yeah.
We have to listen. Our biggest thing is we need to listen. We can still chastise, but kids want to talk.
Yeah, for sure.
But they have to feel free that they can talk free.
100%.
You know, and if they can't do it at home, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
And I'll say this like I used to always tell Tajiri. Us as parents, sometimes we have to take 3 seconds. When you're talking to your kid and they say something, you ready to slap, take 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Just say, wow, why'd they say that? Where's this coming from? Because this is coming from somewhere.
Right.
For sure.
They're trying to, they don't want to directly tell you this, but indirectly they're coming to you with a problem. They need your help. But just because they said ba 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 ba,
Right.
Yeah, you close yourself off.
you close yourself off.
Yeah, for
Who the
real.
hell are you to say?
For real.
But I didn't see anything wrong.
Yeah.
So I think us as adults, we have to do more listening, and we have to teach kids. Because like I said from the beginning, a a lot of kids don't know how to respect
Right.
because they wasn't taught.
Right.
They wasn't taught how to respect.
Sure.
But then again, if you want the young people to listen to you, you gotta act like an adult.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
can't dress
For
like an
sure.
adult and look like an adult.
Right.
You have to carry yourself as an adult
Carry yourself.
if you want them to listen to you.
Yes, that's right.
You could go down a
Just
whole
say,
lot.
I'm grown.
Yeah, I'm grown. Yeah. Because that
Yeah.
means I can say I'm grown.
Yeah, right.
You can't go backwards. You
No.
can't go backwards.
No. So I gotta say, what I feel is important for the youngins is to really tell us the real world. I mean, we living in our world.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Or we're busy complaining that
For sure.
this world, these kids, whatever, or back in my day,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
back
Like you
there.
said, back in my day.
We ain't there no more.
And I'm really
Yeah,
am
for real.
fascinated when I hear how different things are for young people than they were
Exactly.
for us. And I won't know that if they don't share that. And they won't share that if I don't create the safety
Exactly.
and the curiosity.
Exactly.
Like, I'm genuinely curious. I'm not curious so when you say something wrong, I can pop you upside your head, even though
Right.
I've never
Nah.
popped you upside your head.
I probably should have been a few times, but nah.
You know, I'm genuinely curious because that's not my world.
Yeah,
I'm living in it, but I'm not
not reality.
experiencing
Not
it
from it.
Exactly.
the way that you all are.
sure.
And if I'm going to be of any help as an elder, whether I have done what you've done or not, I at least need to understand why it's so different. What is it you're going through, right? And how that is shaping your world. And that, because otherwise it's like, she won't understand, I ain't saying nothing, right? And it's like, maybe she will understand. So let me at least try because this is my mom, right?
Yeah,
Right? I
for
mean,
sure.
that it's not like, oh, this is my mom. She ain't know nothing, right? She old school. What? No. This is my mom. This is somebody that I should be talking to,
Exactly.
right? So, all right. So,
Can I say one
yes,
thing to that?
absolutely.
Another thing is
absolutely.
too, we have to learn how to show love.
Yes.
Our kids miss that. Our kids don't even know what that is.
Really? Wow.
Love.
Right.
know,
Real love, genuine.
I love Tajiri. He
Yeah,
know
for
I
sure.
love him.
Yes.
For sure.
He loves you.
Yes.
You know he loves you. A lot of kids don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Parents will say,
Wow.
you know I love you. They're like,
Yeah.
You don't act it, you
Yeah.
don't show it.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
I
And we do
agree.
live in a world where it's way more now proven.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're talking all this. It sounds great.
Exactly.
Did you
But
love
what
when
they
you
say-
busted me in my face the
Prove
other
it.
day?
Right. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
talking loud, but you ain't saying
right.
nothing.
You know
Did you
what I
love me,
mean?
but my eyes black? Say that
You love me, but a spoon is there. What are
When
we
you
talking about?
embarrass me in front of
My
my
friends,
friends,
Exactly.
yeah, bro.
Yes.
That's real.
That's something. And my oldest son, Jabari,
Shout out, Judge.
he would. That was one thing I picked up early. It's like, please, mom, please don't embarrass me in front of my friends. And I would just do everything I could not to do that. Whereas I felt like with my mom, it was absolutely, yeah, good, got you. That's exactly how I'm gonna get
Exactly.
you. Is I'm gonna embarrass you. And I would just, if I had to pull to the side, and I can remember one time he did something in front of his group of friends, and he just started laughing, and he looked at me, and I just walked over and whispered in his ear, "You hate when I embarrass you. Don't make me do
Make
that."
me do it.
And he
Right.
stopped right
That's
there.
right.
He stopped that behavior.
Got it
And
together.
that's
Yeah.
all I needed
That's
to do.
fair.
I
That's
didn't
it.
want to.
That's so
I didn't
fair.
I could have just screamed out on him.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm like, no, because it really is something that bothers him. So let me just whisper this and see if that'll correct it. And it did.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
shout out, Graham. That is evil. That's weaponizing.
What?
To use that thing
Oh.
that
My
she
mom
knew
would do
would
that
get
all
at
the
you.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was the way of correcting you.
And and
God rest your soul, man. That's evil. That's weaponizing.
Yes,
And
like,
like,
she did a lot of good, but there was a lot of wrong that
Absolutely.
I've chosen to correct. So I'm watching the time, and I'm
Okay.
gonna just check with you two. What is it that
Powerhouses.
you think that elders can provide in the lives of youngins, folks in your generation?
Oh man. I think just your wisdom, like bring your stories. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell you how much my behaviors would correct themselves. Even with a particular teacher, we might have had a problem or we might have whatever. But as soon as they brought themselves, like they took the role out of it and they came to me as a person,
Okay.
then I'm like, okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. And now you can see where you lacking that as a seed planted. Yes, I watered some of these damn seeds. I'm not going to deny that. I watered a lot of them. But for a seed planted, now you can see how that's so problematic and how you can get a different me out of these conversations. And so I just think the wisdom y'all have in bringing yourselves in it, not just talking about, like, I don't know, like dating is so weird now. It's like, no, like this is what it was like back then. And like, I don't know what it's like now. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to teach me a little bit, but I can at least give you a model to go off of how you should conduct yourself and things like that. You know what I mean? I just think the way that you can bring yourself to us and you take the roles out of it, parent, whatever professional job you have, whatever, and you just come as a person, I think that just will save a lot of young people from doing a lot of dumb shit, to be quite frank. So I'm grateful for every adult in my life that's either still here or not still here, still in my life or not still in my life, that's been able to bring themselves. So.
Oh, man, you hit it right on the head. I would definitely piggyback off that 100% and saying, when you understand someone as a person, not just their title, but as a person, that gives a lot of context. Yeah. You can understand what makes them who they are. So even in the next instant, if they go off on you, you can understand why. Right. You can understand what kind of built into it. And then also, like he was saying, context. So I'm always fascinated to hear from him what life was like before we had phones, where you had to figure out how to meet somebody, how to talk to someone.
Yeah, right?
I'm horrible with that. So I don't know how y'all was math questions. I'm horrible with math.
Right, and even when we talk about like tactical knowledge of
bro.
Especially with this world is changing with the advent of tech, AI, economic changes, the government and stuff like that. I'm always curious to hear from them how they operate in the world before big tech, before big government, before these things were so invasive in our lives and everything like that. To have some semblance of privacy and independence, because everywhere we go, we're being filmed, we're being watched, we're being tracked, we're being think. So I'm always like, how did you exist before that, and before you had all of these things, ideas rushing at you all the time, and you had to open your phone and see all of this crazy stuff and make sense of that with your normal life, and then be concerned with, wait, I went somewhere, is this video gonna pop up me somewhere? Like, how did you were able to create that space for yourself in your own life? Yeah, those things are serious.
For sure.
Because we do live very different lives.
Yes,
for sure.
True. Yes, yes. What we got to give them? What we got to give these youngins, you think? Oh.
Well, love. I'm going to give you respect. And most important, I'm going to give you what wasn't given to me that should have been given to me.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
So that's how I move.
That's real, Pop.
Yeah,
That's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
About you, OG?
Yeah. I definitely have to back that, absolutely, because there was, they did what they could, they did the best they could with what they had, but
for sure.
There was a lot of stuff
it was.
That was
It was rough.
And it was, and
rough.
I feel like what I love about this show, that it's given us the opportunity to tell our stories. There are times on this show where Justin's like, I didn't know that. And I'm like, I know, I never shared that with you, but I love that I'm sharing it with you. Or I'll say, I didn't know that. And you're like, yeah, I know, because you want both to. But
exactly.
I'm telling you, but you know.
But I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah,
I could never do that with my parents. I would have loved to have known how human they were or what was going on back in the day. I think that there is so much that we can give that can encourage, right? I agree with the love and the respect and just encouragement
Just
that you can
encourage,
do
exactly.
it. Yes, it's crazy and all
Exactly.
this
Yeah,
madness,
for
and
sure.
I'm gonna say for us, I say this just all the time. Our ancestors have been through so
Yes.
much
Yeah,
worse
bro.
with so much
Yes.
less,
Yeah,
Less.
right? So much less. So we
Overly
don't.
blessed.
Yeah.
We
We're
can
overly
do
blessed.
this.
Yeah,
We can
for
do
sure.
this. You can do this. And I'm going to always have your back. That's just how it is.
Exactly.
There's nothing that can change that, no matter how hard you try to do stuff.
Yeah. And excuse me, man, 1 second. I used
Yeah.
to always tell Tajiri, tell me the truth.
Yes.
Yeah, bro, yeah, for sure.
I had a thing that I used to always tell Tajiri. I said, tell me the truth so I can lie for you.
Damn, Pop.
You understand what I'm saying?
Damn, Pop. I'm taking that. Yo, I'm taking that with me, and I'm gonna quote you every time. But damn it, I'm taking that with me. Now. Let me lie for you, damn it. Don't be out here making us look crazy. I know how to make us
That's
look.
right. That's right.
I love that.
Tell the truth every
I do
time.
love that. And we're not you. If you don't understand what he said,
Exactly.
then you the problem.
Exactly.
You
Do
the
some work,
problem.
bro.
Because
Exactly.
it's exactly right. We're not saying that we're out here to lie for you,
Exactly.
but if we have to have your back, then you gotta tell us
Gotta
the
tell
whole
us the
deal.
whole-
You
exactly.
gotta tell
For
us
sure.
the whole story,
Got to.
or we cannot defend you.
Cannot.
Right? And hey, I know me. If I'm gonna lie for you, chances are when we have our conversation,
That's right. That's
one
right.
thing I'm gonna tell you is now you gotta go back and tell
That's
the
right.
truth.
That's
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Right?
For
That's
sure.
For sure.
just how it
That's
is.
right.
For
That's
sure.
how it is.
That's right.
For sure.
Right.
And that's what it means.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly
Exactly.
right. And
That's
this is
100%.
why I
Yep.
did this in this situation, but
Yep.
you gonna
You
have
gotta
to,
go.
you
You have
gotta
to
hold that.
correct that.
Yeah.
Can I just add one last thing for
Yes.
you, Brad?
Yes.
Because, yeah. Another thing that we need from y'all that I see that a lot of these kids don't get enough is the belt. Because
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna be honest,
I ain't gonna
we're
lie.
out of control.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
You can meet a lot of people.
I ain't gonna
You
lie.
could tell that they didn't get the proper discipline they needed to get. And I'm like, yeah, you needed to get the belt a couple times because you just talk a little bit too, out there. Like you just the big dog and this and that.
Don't go up to a meeting outside right now. Something. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna
We just got a bunch of viewers sitting there screaming.
Because these people be out of control. And seriously, I've been seeing a new thing now, the soft parenting. I'm not a supporter of that. If that's what you do, more power to you, and I hope it works out. But it doesn't work. There needs to be authority.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a monster or
For
be
sure.
a bully and bully your children. And you don't even necessarily need to put your hands on them. But they need to understand that this isn't a free-for-all, that there's structure and order. Because above all else,
For sure.
people need order. They need structure. That's what I always told them. Because we always had a joke in my family. Because when I was young, he could go off on me, beat me, whatever. And then 5 minutes later, he'd be like, "You want to go to the store?" I'd be like, "Yeah." But I wouldn't be like with anyone else. But it was because it was order, it was structure. I knew what I was going to get from him. I knew, I messed up. So I had this coming. So I shouldn't have did it. So I got what I deserved. And I was able to move on. Yeah. And that's what a lot of the times people are missing. So they just go overcorrecting like, I'm going to, what's wrong, honey? F you, mom. F you, dad. Well, honey, just think. Nah, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. So yeah.
We can't have
Bring the belt back. I'll support that.
I am looking into all the cameras. I will not support that. But what I will support is there needs to be order and structure.
Yeah, exactly.
And there needs to be an understanding of who is in charge. It doesn't mean you cannot have a voice. It doesn't mean that your opinion isn't valued or that you're loved and respected. But, one of the things that frustrated Justin from little, it wasn't, he didn't have a problem with the fact that we were his parents. Like, he liked us, but he couldn't understand why he needed parents, just in general. And it took a long time, but it's like, bro, you're going to need to understand you need parents. And that's just how it is. And I believe that that's important, but then at the same time, he had a lot of leeway to be who he was. And he made mistakes. We were on him about the mistakes.
Yeah,
We
that's
didn't
right.
let them
No,
slide.
not at all.
Not at all. But I get what you're saying. If you're with that, then please understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
So I was
Exactly.
saying
Yeah,
when he
for
was
sure.
saying
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
And because
I'm not encouraging abuse.
Because I'm the host of this show, I'm going to say, I ain't with that. But I love the conversation.
I love it too, and back to what Pop said, right? Like to be able to do that, right? But come back to I love you.
I love you.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I love you. Like
I love
I'm doing this strictly
Exactly.
out of love. Like it may not look like it, may not feel like it all the time, but I
Exactly.
need to tell you this. I need to go about it this way. Sometimes it get like that, and I will say I'm telling you, sometimes I needed that belt.
And you never
And I never got it. I never got it. I'm saying as someone who never got it and who had a lot of leeway, I took that leeway sometimes and I ran with it because I knew I had it. And I think that if you are able to have that balance, then it'll help.
Okay, so we about to wrap. We about to wrap. I love this. I
Me too.
love this.
Me too.
Because
That's
we
all
don't
I
have to
said.
agree. This is why it's working it out across the generation.
Exactly.
For sure.
Right? We all gonna have different viewpoints, but the main thing is that we come to talk. We're able to talk it out,
Exactly.
right? And that's what we need so much more of. So parents, we are going to have our first Working It Out Across Generations workshop, and you can get the link right here. This is where you sign up for it. It's going to be at the end of May. By the time you sign up, there'll be the date will be set, and you'll have, and it's really about building trust. How do you build trust, right, with your tweens and teens? Because it really needs to start early. It needs to start even earlier than tweens, but we know that's when kids get out of control.
That's when it starts.
We know that that's what it is. So we want you to please join us, sign up for that. We have to just say big thank you to, I mean, this was
thank
like,
you.
this
you.
could have been a marathon.
Yes.
That
I loved it.
conversation.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
We gotta have y'all back again because I think that it is a topic that people want to explore. I think there are people sitting there that really want to do it but don't know how, right? As elders, they don't know
Exactly.
how. And just even as young people, like I don't know how to talk to my parents or my guardians or the adults in my life about what's going on with me, right? But I wish I could share it with them, and I think that this gave them hope. So I'm going to say to my son, Justin, I just love and respect you, and I'm just grateful that we get to do this together. I just it is such an incredible thing.
It's powerful.
It just really is. And Jabari, if you're watching, you know I love and respect you as well as a man, and it's just been wonderful to be your mom. That's something that I've said to my boys from day one. I love being your mom.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It is just an honor, a privilege, and a whole hell of a lot of fun.
I know that's right.
But
in the middle of all of
boys are a lot. We know that. Boys are a lot. She's the only girl in the house, so that's gotta be tough. But,
yeah.
I mean,
and didn't grow up with boys.
Yeah, for
my
sure.
dad was the only boy with 5 sisters, and they all had girls. So my cousins were all girls. So I didn't grow up. First boy was born in our family 52 years after my dad was born. So.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So boys was like, okay, and it's been great. Anything you want to say to each other?
Well, I'm gonna say to Ty. She'll tell me, Pop. I love you more than I love myself.
damn.
Because when I see you, I see so much of me in you. And just keep up the good work. I am so proud of you. I wouldn't have had another grandson.
Yeah.
Yes. That's beautiful.
That's it right there.
That's beautiful.
From the heart.
I want to say to my grandpa, and I tell him this all the time, but I'm going to tell y'all, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't be half as smart, half as intelligent. I may not even be alive. I've had a very interesting life, a very interesting childhood. So everything that he's taught me, all of the wisdom that you showed me, everything that you've poured into me, even when you didn't have it for yourself, when you didn't have someone to teach you and sit you down and show you the things, when I used to do the craziest stuff constantly, used to constantly get in trouble, And you would always have patience with me. You never gave up on me. You never told me like, man, I'm about finished with you. Go find somewhere to live. You never kicked me out on the street. You never beat me up, left me with black eyes and stuff. You always just cared about me and loved me.
I gave you a couple of body shots.
You did. You sure did. Still feel low. I still think I got the gun in my chest. Man, he hit me with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in that.
But you
would have bet I never did it again.
No,
never did it again.
Never did it again.
But seriously, Pop, I swear, I would not be half of the person I am today without you. And I always want you to know that.
Thank you.
I champion you all day, every day,
Best I could.
forever.
Thank you.
All right.
I
Love it. Love it.
Love it.
Justin.
Yeah, before I wrap up, definitely, a whole lot of ditto back to you. I wouldn't be the young man that I am without you. You've shown me really what unconditional love looks like.
Okay.
You've shown me that it's possible to love people while they're a work in progress. The patience you've extended to me. I mean, I'd go to war for you, and not literally. So let's not look at me for that. But
Literally.
But like right now, let's not do that. But I'd run through any fire, anything to see you on the other side. So thank you for all you've done. You know what I'm saying? And this is beautiful, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously.
Thank you for having
You know
us.
what I mean? This is what we're trying to do, bro. Just bridge these generations together.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We're so much stronger together than apart.
Yes, we are.
You know what I mean?
we
So
are.
y'all know where to catch us. Y'all know where to find us. Every like, every follow, every subscription. It truly means the world. We'll also drop whatever socials that they got going in descriptions and in whatever chats that we can so that y'all can keep up with Pops and Ty. But guys, thank you so much. You know what we say about conflict? Conflict is here to teach you something about yourself. So go out there and find out what that is. I'm Justin.
And I'm Dr. Lynn.
We had Pops and Tajiri, and this was Working It Out Across Generations. See you next week.
Peace.
Boom.
Bye.
Later.
We all come from somewhere, a place with a name, but in our longing hearts, we're all the same. We can make it happen, turn things around. Let's be the change we wanna see abound. We are links in a chain. We are links in a chain. An important wagon on a moving train. In this we're